On question 8, if the U.S. falls into a recession, which action would the Federal Reserve take to encourage employment? Okay, so in a recession, what's happening is a lot of people are getting laid off. A lot of people are losing their jobs simply because sales have gone down. You're not selling as many consumer goods. So the companies that are creating these goods don't need as many workers. That's what's happening in a recession. Okay, so we've got sell government securities, raise federal funds and prime rates, buy government securities, increase reserve requirements. So in a recession, what they want to do is they want to get more money into the economy. A lot of people don't have money. Okay, we're having a recession, but to encourage employment, if you can get more money into the hands of the banks so that they can loan money out, people can take out loans, they can start businesses, or they can take out loans, buy things, a boat, a car, whatever. That's going to help with employment. So the reason it's buying government securities, when the government buys back their securities, what they're buying are basically IOUs, pieces of paper. But what are they giving to these people who are turning into the government? These IOUs. They're giving them money. They're paying for it with money. So that's putting more money into the economy. That's why you've got buying government securities. Okay? If there was too much money in the economy and for some reason there was inflation, they wanted to slow down inflation. They were worried about hyperinflation. They were afraid it was going to get out of control. What would they do? They would want to encourage people to buy their securities from them. They would be selling them so they could pull money out of the economy. Okay? So I hope you see the difference there. Number 9, the country has entered a period of economic growth. Well, here, this is just what I was talking about. But prices are rising too rapidly. Okay, when prices rise too rapidly, that's inflation, and it could become hyperinflation. They don't want that. A little bit of inflation is okay. To stabilize prices, the Federal Reserve decides to do what? They're going to raise the discount rate. When they raise the discount rate, what that means is, you remember, that's the rate at which banks pay to borrow money. So when banks borrow money, instead of us calling it interest rate, like it is for the rest of us, it's called a discount rate, but it's basically an interest rate. So if they charge them more to borrow the money, they're going to borrow more money or less? They're going to borrow less money. And so if they're borrowing less money, then the banks have less to loan out. If they have less to loan out, what happens to the interest rate that you and I pay when we want to buy a boat or a motorcycle or a four-wheeler? The rates go up. So it's more expensive to borrow money. So what they're doing is they're controlling our decisions to a certain extent with the interest rate. If there's a higher interest rate, people are less likely to buy. You may still buy, but many people will hold back. They'll wait for the cheaper interest rate. So that's why that works. Which of the following fiscal policies would most likely reduce unemployment? Remember that when we're talking fiscal, that just means money. Think of fiscal as money, and that's going to be important when we get to government. Which of the following fiscal policies would most likely reduce unemployment? So when you've got a most bold like that, that means that others might sound like a good option or a good answer. So you're going to have to really pay attention here. The reason increasing funding for local grants